Hi, I'm Nick McLean with Four Pillars Investors. I have almost 20 years of experience in private equity, mergers and acquisitions, investment banking, you name it. I've created a course, a small segment of which follows, and it really is just a very small segment. A period of time after we purchased our first business, I met with a former colleague, and at some point during the lunch, he remarked that I had, or a part of my anatomy was very large. I'm not going to share what part of anatomy that was. You can probably figure out what that might be. But regardless, the point was that I had a lot of guts to actually buy a business. After that meeting, I really reflected on that comment a lot because I didn't see it that way. With the benefit of hindsight, I realized that there was more risk to buying a business than perhaps I fully appreciated. So many things can go wrong. It takes longer than you expect to do anything within a business sometimes. But even so, even with the benefit of hindsight, I can't say that I would have done anything differently. I can't say that I would have been more nervous to sign on the dotted line, so to speak, when we were purchasing that business. I think that ties into the mental and emotional aspects of risk taking as it relates to buying that business. I will tell you that I tend to be a pretty even-keeled guy. Don't get too stressed. Actually, my number one stressor is being late to meetings, which is kind of nerdy or weird, or I don't know what you want to call it. But as it relates to a lot of our businesses, I don't get too stressed. However, in the business, whenever you're running it, things happen that brought my stress level to a new level and one that I had not experienced before. It makes you stronger, makes you more savvy about how to think about certain situations, but you really got to be prepared for that. You also got to be prepared that owning a business will change you in ways that you might not expect. In some ways, it might make you a more effective leader. In some ways, it might make you a less effective leader. Let me give you my own personal example. After having run Four Pillars and Southwest Steel, some of our other portfolio companies for 8, 9, 10 years now, what I can tell you is that one way in which I've actually maybe taken a step back is as it relates to cost controls. What do I mean by that? Before I was buying a business, I was very cost conscious and would be more thoughtful whenever I was making purchases, both personal and for business. However, after running a business, I can say that I'm not as good at that. I'm not as cost conscious. Why is that? The reason is because through the various activities that we would do at Southwest or Four Pillars, I would have to drop meaningful amounts of money that could just turn into absolutely nothing. I'm talking probably not 6 figures worth of investment, but in some circumstances, it would be that large. But very commonly, monthly 4-figure purchases or contracting with firms that were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month with no guarantee that what they're providing is going to provide the benefit that I'm seeking. And for that reason, sometimes I'd look at the credit card statement and see expenses for $200, $300, and I really wouldn't care about them. Whereas in the past, I would be managing those very closely to make sure that they were necessary expenses. That's a long-winded way of saying that whenever you purchase a business, your style and your approach, maybe even your outlook on life is going to change. And you need to make sure that you're taking that into account as you think about the skills and attributes of the folks that complement you on your management team. Additionally, I think anyone trying to do this knows that delayed gratification is a huge part of this. However, I think that the extent to which that gratification is delayed might not be fully appreciated by some people. Here's an example. We've purchased some equipment at Southwest, and whenever I first bought the first few pieces of equipment, I thought, okay, we're gonna buy this, and in a few months, I'll know whether or not it was successful. Wasn't anywhere near that quick. A lot of times, it would take at least a year, maybe 18 months, before you could really make a determination as to whether or not that decision or that chosen strategy was successful. If you look at my partner's business out in the Portland area, we decided to pursue more complex multinational companies as part of our customer base. It took 18 months to get a supplier code with one of those. Was that decision to pursue those customers the right decision? We're about 24 months in, maybe even 30 months in, and definitely the indications are that it was the right decision. But if you purely look at the cold hard facts, the pure numbers, then it's a questionable outcome, or it's a questionable situation at best as to whether or not that was the right decision. So as it relates to buying a business, I just think it's critically important to understand that a lot of the decisions you're going to make not only are going to take some time before you know if they're the right decision, but it's going to be far more time than you ever possibly could have imagined, at least from my perspective. Now, thinking back to my colleague that said I was taking a huge risk by buying a business, a big part of that is because of the personal guarantee associated with the business purchase. Now, I want to bifurcate business decision risk as completely separate from the risk from the personal guarantee. Whenever you think about business decision risk, this is, should we buy that piece of equipment? Should we pursue this new product or service? Those impact the personal guarantee, but it's a different decision-making process. There's more analysis that can be performed. You can talk to customers, you can get competing quotes for the product or the service. There's a lot more analysis that really goes into it so that you have more comfort in the decision that you're making as it relates to that new strategy. As it relates to the personal guarantee though, that analysis often isn't there. So many folks that I've talked to have just said, no way I could do the personal guarantee, just too risky. I'm not gonna put my house on the line. No way. When I hear that, the first thing I think is, would you consider the purchase of a new piece of equipment for your business that same way, where you just completely say, no way, I'm not gonna buy that piece of equipment, too risky, et cetera, et cetera? Well, if you do the analysis and you say that it's not going to generate the return that you expect, even in an optimistic scenario, then I completely get that. But if you don't do that analysis, then I don't think you've done a very good job in making that decision. And that's the real challenge, or maybe not challenge, but that's the real error that I see some folks making, is that there's just no analysis or thought as it relates to the personal guarantee. I see a lot of people saying, I'm good with it, or I see a lot of people saying, I'm not good with it. But what I don't see is in either of those camps, people spending a lot of time to fully understand the repercussions of the personal guarantee and how the personal guarantee might be enforced. Now, I'm not saying that this course is going to be the end-all, be-all for everyone. However, at the very least, if you do want to buy a business, I think you owe it to yourself to at least check it out, learn a little bit more about it, and see if this might be the right next step for you, for your career, and for your family. Thanks for watching.